Guys, welcome to another episode of Into the West Comics. My name is Frank. Sonny is here.
Yo, what up?
How are you?
I'm good. What about yourself?
I'm doing really good because Hot Dog Paul is also here.
Hot diggity dog, what it do, baby?
Hey, that's what's up.
What's up, guys?
I don't know about you guys, but last week, everything changed.
Oh, yeah. Easy.
Everything changed for the world that is Westview and Wandavision in particular.
Changing a snap,
What were your
say.
thoughts? Changing with a snap. What were your thoughts about that episode last week?
I couldn't miss that. I was like, I have to use
That's
this.
pretty good.
I think yesterday kind of turned up the level. We thought things were kind of going to go a little slower. At least I thought. I wasn't so committed into this series. That intro might have been the coolest intro to a Marvel movie I think I've seen.
I won't disagree with that. I think it was pretty cool.
That was cool.
Gave me goosebumps for sure.
It definitely did.
Yeah, and I think a big part of behind it being so cool was like it was so unexpected. Like I did not expect it to jump into the fourth episode with okay, now we're gonna take you out of town and see what's going on outside.
Oh yeah.
Like, I think everyone except the people who knew, like, who were involved in the show, no one thought that was going to happen. Everyone thought it was going to be another sitcom, another era, but it was like, no, all right, it's like a couple episodes of in the sitcom, and now let's take you outside of Wonderland, if you will, and show you, like, what's happening outside.
I agree.
And I think that was a good idea, a fantastic idea to be a change of pace, and actually, like, it keeps me more interested, honestly, because I'm not like, oh, it's going to be another sitcom, which I think are fun. But I wasn't like...
They were fun.
I wasn't like,
they were fun.
Oh my God, I can't wait. But now I can't wait.
We all started them at different times. You started it, then I started it, then Quan started it. And I was like, this intro's crazy. Or you said, this intro's crazy. I'm like, no, don't tell me nothing.
Chill, bro, chill.
I'm telling him, I'm like, this intro's crazy. He's like, don't say anything. I haven't started it yet. Like, it was awesome.
And then Frank was like...
And then and then I was asleep. And then 3 hours later, I was like, this is so crazy.
This is so cool.
They already watched it twice. Yeah.
What about you, bro?
Listen, it gives you all these callbacks to where you're looking at the dusting or
the blip,
snapping,
the snapping, the blip, taking you right back to where all these people are. You haven't really seen anybody sort of rematerialize until this moment.
No, they didn't show any of that,
and it makes you start to think about these other people that had families that were split. People had passed away during this 5-year period.
Right.
That Monica is trying to get these doctors to, find out the status of her mom. And then she's telling her that Maria Rambeau, that we know from the Captain Marvel film, we later find out that she founded this sword thing that we're going to get into in a minute. It was really cool, and it just gave you like goosebumps. It gave me chills.
It did.
That the doctor's like, she's been dead. She passed away. Your mom's gone.
It was so much of a different vibe from Spider-Man Far From Home, and the reason I bring that up is because you almost forget we have seen people get blipped back in.
Right.
But it was so much different. Like in Spider-Man Far From Home, it was kind of
more comical.
Played for laughs, and it was like, hey, look, everyone's back. Whoa, what's going on?
It kind of took away from the fact that it was terrifying when there was somebody else in the bed, and that other guy woke up, and he was waiting for somebody.
Yep.
Right.
They don't know each other.
They don't.
You know, someone could be on their deathbed just thinking their mom is supposed to show up. It was crazy.
And it plays on like some of the things that people talked about, like when like people got snapped back in and like theories people were having. It's like there's probably people out there who got remarried after their husband or wife got snapped, and then their wife comes back for husband, and they're like, they're like, this is emotionally disturbing.
Now it's an open relationship.
Yeah, you don't know what's going on now.
A lot of polygamy in the MCU.
You don't know what's going on. No, seriously. And and it takes me back to, watching all of these movies in the correct order, and then you see the snap happen, and then Hulk snaps everyone back, and then there's the big fight at the end. So we kind of forget that the fact that he did everything. Everybody starts coming back. So maybe all around the world, when everybody's just trying to figure this out, there's also this one space in, I believe, New Jersey that is the war of the world is going on right now.
Right.
You know?
What did you guys think about the fact that we get to see Agent Wu We get Jimmy Woo back.
Oh my God,
we
dude.
get Darcy back.
Yep.
Two characters that I really, really like in their individual films, and I really kind of think that they're gonna play like a romance on them. They've been keeping them close a little bit.
I hadn't thought about that at all.
Shout outs to Officer Wu or Detective Wu or Agent Wu, excuse me, for figuring out the magic trick since Ant-Man.
Yeah, I had totally forgot
that was
about
awesome.
that. And I had
that was awesome.
A video and I was like, oh, that's Marvel's so good at that.
Oh man,
their callbacks.
It like made me feel like I was like, oh.
I think not to jump too far into it, but I think it would be really cool if we got a cameo of a certain sorcerer at the end, and Wu did like a joke, like I'm some sort of a magician.
You're talking about, of course, Harry Potter.
Yeah, of course.
Right.
That magician.
Right. Sure.
Speaking of everything down the line, what do you think this episode we're gonna get tonight is gonna be like? Because we got a trailer and it was really interesting. It was kind of cryptic.
I think we go back and forth because I think it'd be really hard to just jump completely back into the sitcom thing.
Mm-hmm.
I think we're gonna get like about half and half. Some of them monitoring stuff on the outside, and like the other half sitcom. I actually kind of think we might get more sitcom than monitoring on the outside, but they're not going to completely forget about the people monitoring them on the outside because it's kind of hard. I feel like it might be kind of jarring, or not. I could be wrong, to just jump back into the sitcom thing, or it's going to be all sitcom, but we're going to see a lot more tears, like a lot more tears in the reality.
When you think about what they're sort of doing this, they're doing what we were doing, watching the first 3 episodes.
Exactly.
Agent Wu and Darcy, is that they've got, like, we didn't have a dry erase board. Maybe we can do that for Falcon the Winter Soldier.
Please, dude.
They've got the dry erase board. They're asking the questions that we were all asking.
And it's all over the internet. Why hexagonal shapes? Who's editing the there's all questions that all of us.
That's the stuff we're asking.
Oh, yeah.
They're binging, sort of.
Correct.
They're binging the first 3 episodes that we've probably been binging and re-binging prior to episode 4.
For sure.
They're doing exactly what we're doing. I thought that was a really cool sort of nod to the fans, that they know that we would probably be doing that. We're asking all kinds of questions, and they're writing them all out.
I think, here's what I think Marvel did. I think they had these episodes come out. They saw what they were doing, people were talking about on the internet, and then they went in before this episode started and put the most popular theories that people had and put them on that, because that's an easy thing to change. What's on a whiteboard, you can change that super quick and super easy.
That's really
and I guarantee you that's what they did. They said, okay, what are the biggest theories here? There's probably a few that they knew people were going to be talking about already had in, but they probably added stuff or changed stuff, and they're like, okay, this is what people are talking about, so we want the people in the show watching the show to also be wondering the same things, as being like line be the same as our viewers, and that would feel really cool.
I agree.
We've changed this whole thing with the arcs. They talked about there being a different feel or arc
for the like the acts or whatever.
For every 3 episodes, that we were going to get some type of different look to the way the shows were the episodes were going to play out. Remember how episode 4 ends? Monica's been pushed through this barrier, whatever. Yep. She's there in the field. They're trying to get to see if she's coherent, and she says it's all Wanda. Okay. I think that the next couple of episodes are going to try to further convince us that Wanda is the bad, even though we're not really buying it. I didn't buy it when she said it's all Wanda, it's all Wanda's fault. Like no one else is influencing this. No. I didn't buy that.
As a watcher, I didn't buy it. I think as a fan, I didn't buy it. You know what I mean?
But the 2 people. Sorry, the 2 people that weren't like the characters that weren't like, okay, this is actually who it is. It was, I think it was Agatha, or wait, what's her name?
Agnes.
Agnes. They didn't have her like on the whiteboard when they were like, this
when
person
they were
is
saying
this
person is playing
this person is playing this person.
Was it Dottie?
And Dottie. And was it you that said you think Dottie is Mephisto?
Dottie's Mephisto.
You might be right.
Dottie's Mephisto. I'm calling
Fisto.
her right now.
Yeah.
Dot Fisto.
All right, let me write that down. Sunny says
Dot Fisto.
Dot Fisto.
No, I think the coolest thing about the mysteries behind this show is
He's really right.
No, I know he did. No, he always does.
I did write it down.
I think it's the little things and noticing that they didn't have a background or anything. There was one New Rockstars, I believe, they called out one of the characters. They said during one of the episodes was awakened by Vision, and they found his name or whatever. And it's like the notes in the episode, and it's like, how many episodes are these sword agents watching that we haven't gotten? Because please release the rest of these. Because I would like to understand, and maybe because you see in the trailer, Vision like taps Agnes's head and kind of like awakens her, like, oh, I'm not dead or something like that. In House of M, Wolverine was kind of playing like a role like that, kind of awakening people up from their state. So maybe Vision's kind of playing. They're kind of meshing a lot of stories into this.
So you touched a little bit about this sword agency that they've sort of changed their. They mention it that they're talking more about AI.
Sentient
and sentient
weapon observation
whatever
response something directive.
Not space anymore. That's
no, it's not space anymore. They've moved away from
sentient.
That. What do we think about this guy Tyler Hayward?
He's sketch.
So
the director,
he's
sketch, bro.
Do we think that he's Bad News Bears?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. Shout out my boy Desmond. He hit me up, and I don't know if you guys saw in the DMs. He went hard thinking it was me reading it, and he thought it was just to me. I think everybody agrees. Why would you send your most valuable agent to some anomaly that's making people disappear?
Her badge doesn't work.
He wanted to swoop in. He wanted to swoop in to kind of play the.
He says there's a rule in place that you have to be grounded because of this. Your mom made the rule, and oh yeah, she passed away.
No.
Come on.
So I think, in some sense, he might have made a deal with the devil.
What?
And gotten himself in position.
Fisto?
Maybe gotten himself into a position to be in charge, because if you look at the past directors of such organizations of Shield or now Sword,
Robert Redford.
Come on, this dude's a little Boy Scout kind of square. So I think. He's sketch,
but he isn't Mephisto. He's not Mephisto. He's being manipulated by Mephisto.
Correct.
We just want to clarify.
Correct.
And then the moment too, and I think they did this in. They had mentioned this at a couple of the YouTubes. We watched a few YouTuber guys over the weekend.
We be YouTubing.
He mentioned that there was this callback that Darcy starts talking about the different radiation, whatever, and he cuts her off immediately. And like he knows what she's talking about.
CMBR?
Yeah, he's trying to get to the point of like forcing the issue. I think he's trying to tie in Monica Rambeau to this, to where she can be basically kicked out or possibly court-martialed or something like that, to where she cannot pursue this any further.
Because she's probably the rightful director to the throne, I would say.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I have a kind of off-base question. I don't remember what Monica's powers are in the comics. It's like
Captain Marvel-y-ish.
Yeah, but so do we think that her experience in there and getting sent through that barrier and getting like affected by Scarlet Witch, is she gonna have some form of powers manifest before the end of this?
I think 100,000%.
We touched on this, but go ahead.
Yeah,
go
we
ahead,
did.
Sonny.
We did. So, Nerd Life shout outs to I want to say this is probably New Rockstars too. She gets pushed through 4 walls. Okay. I think that's the coolest thing. You push through the 4th wall.
Mm-hmm.
After she comes out, she's like kind of like glowing in like that.
Pick up on that.
Yeah. She's like glowing in some type of I want to say like radiation, or it looks like Wanda's powers. Maybe that might have been the igniter to her kind of getting her abilities when she kind of was the first one to kind of get pushed out of the whatever dimension this is.
So when they're going into this this different reality, you see like where we have the guy who becomes the beekeeper who's going through the sewer system. He comes out and his costume is changed, and then the cable that's connected
turns into a
jump rope. Okay. When Monica is in Westview, and she's in the black and white sitcom type version of herself, she has
the pendant.
She has a pendant
pendant
of a sword. Of the Sword organization. When she's pushed back through and she's on her way out and she's out in the field, she's still wearing her outfit she was wearing. She didn't change back.
No.
So I think that's something significant. So if my question to you guys is, if Vision is still alive in Westview and he's a mutant. That was scary, by the way. We didn't mention that. That was like
that's still going.
That kind of like whoa, that caught you off guard for a moment. That was
creepy.
The fact that she might be dragging around a dead Vision, animating him, is terrifying.
So could he be still functioning to some capacity? Could he still be alive coming out of that barrier thing, whatever?
I think what's happening is because at the end of the day, he's a computer, and they're using like stored hardware data, and Wanda's using that to help make him seem real, and he's playing on like past events, and he's like running on past data, and that's what's keeping him running. So in a sense, he is still alive, but he can't, like, he's not experiencing anything new. He's just existing on what he already was, and Wanda's using that to run him. I don't know if that makes any sense. But
no, it kind of did.
No, I'm
kind of did.
I'm looking forward. We're obviously looking forward to this. I'm really going to try to stay up late, but I'm old. I might be asleep. Listen, tonight we're going to get something that's probably going to completely change all of our theories and predictions for the rest of the season. We're not even we're not at the halfway point of this show. Elizabeth Olsen has made a comment that I want to get your predictions as to who she could be talking about potentially as a character / actor. Elizabeth Olsen stated in this past week, it's been going around, that she said that there is the equivalent of a Luke Skywalker type cameo in this WandaVision series, and I'm trying to figure out who she could be talking about, because we've heard the rumors already about there being a Mephisto character. We don't know the actor playing Mephisto.
No, man.
We have heard that there's going to be a Doctor Strange cameo. We know that Evan Peters is going to be playing in some capacity, is going to be appearing at least as in a cameo. Those aren't Luke Skywalker type levels.
That's not
so
like the
who
same
is
thing.
this actor or character that they're talking about?
I think for me personally, I wish the Beekeeper was Doctor Strange. It's not going to be. If Doctor Strange showed up, it wouldn't be that cool. We were talking about a version of Magneto. For me, that would be really cool. I think as a fan, it would be really cool. But would that be, Quan was talking about, would it be the same measure for everybody around the spectrum, though? I think it would be cool if Magneto showed up, but like, would the average watcher think that was cool?
Yeah. Like I was saying, we were talking about a little bit before the show. I think no matter who it is, Elizabeth Olsen's statement is going to kind of be a little bit of like hyperbole, because how many characters in general?
I don't think so, because what's his name, that actor that plays Vision? I can't think of his name.
Paul Bettany.
Paul Bettany said he's always wanted to work with somebody that he got to work with. So it's
Are they talking about the same person?
If they have to be,
I hope so. I don't know if they are. They're talking about the same guy?
Unless we're going to get a Mephisto reveal, which would be sick. I think that's not the same person we're talking about, though.
Mm-hmm.
But without us knowing who's going to be playing Mephisto, I mean, that could be something that completely flies under the radar, because nobody knew that we're going to get Luke Skywalker at the end of Mandalorian season 2.
I was like certain I knew it wasn't going to be him.
It's something that completely flies under the radar. If that's what we're going to get, I mean, to that level, I don't know, and I'm thinking like potential all types of multiverse type of scenarios.
Yeah, like Hugh Jackman Wolverine or something like that. You know what I mean?
I'm thinking Tobey Maguire Spider-Man
shows up in this.
Yeah.
And that kind of bridges the fact that she opened up something and something's wrong. Wow.
And then we're in our multiverse of madness.
Because this is supposed to end directly into the beginning of Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness.
And then she can say, I don't even know who you are.
Right. And I'm convinced that Scarlet Witch is going to be the not purposeful antagonist in this new Doctor Strange movie. I think she's not really aware of the stuff that she's doing selfishly, trying to have her family, trying to get these kids. I think it's really going to do a lot of dirt to the multiverse, and Doctor Strange is going to be pissed. Magic to magic, I think Doctor Strange is hard, but she's really OP.
So Paul, who did you say who you thought it could be?
I was going to say I think it's Magneto as well. I don't know in what capacity.
One? Fassbender?
I think it should be Fassbender, because I mean,
I like him a lot.
It gives, or do I want it to be Ian McKellen? Either one would be dope. Or we could get freaking both of them. The cameo they're talking about is Magneto, and the actor Paul Bettany's talking about is McKellen.
That would be cool.
I think there's room for anything to happen now that we know that they are. It's not just this like corny sitcom show.
What have you guys thought about the sitcoms though? As far as the parody on the sitcoms?
I think tonight we're gonna get the cooler one.
I think I'm gonna start enjoying the sitcom aspect more as it goes. Like, because I grew up watching Full House and freaking Roseanne. And
I'm so glad you said Full House. You know the connection between Elizabeth Olsen and Full House.
Yeah, she's her
so
sisters.
Her sisters, Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen, played Michelle on Full House.
Yep,
they were twins.
Oh, I didn't even think about that.
But
boom,
wouldn't that be cool if they could do some type of twin scenario and have her involved in that some capacity, that where they would have a Full House. I don't know. I'd like to see like the Uncle Jesse mullet on Vision or something like that. That would be cool. That's not going to happen.
Uncle Jesse mullet on Peters Evan.
Yeah, Peters Evan.
And he comes in as Uncle Silver
Quick.
That could be cool.
There was stuff going around that because Evan Peters or Peter Evans under whatever multiverse we're talking about here at Into the West Comics, is confirmed to be a part of this.
Yeah,
right.
So we know. But what if, this is the coolest thing, I wanted to not say anything until we were on here.
Yeah, I love this.
What if the kids, rapid, aging and all that kind of stuff, what if he gets cast as Speed? And he is, they can still, have whatever continuity they want on that other X-Men stuff. Because if you go back and watch the X-Men movies, he has he's not like a Quicksilver. He's kind of like, he uses fun with his powers. He's kind of a little younger, and he can play a teenager easily.
Right.
He has that kind of baby face. You know what I mean? What if they bring him back, and that's what they use him for, and they cast someone else as Wiccan or whatever, but they use him as Speed and kind of show us like a teenage version of Wanda's kids probably at the end of this. And it's still like a Quicksilver nod. It's still bringing the universes together. Reading that on the internet was like the coolest thing.
This is a completely random question, but do you think that casting an actor as twins in a movie as big as this MCU thing, it feels like a really fine line to where they could make it kind of goofy looking or cheesy if they cast the same actor to be the twins, to play twins?
Well, they're not identical twins though.
No, they're not.
So that's they could avoid that.
Yeah, they could use both guys that played Quicksilver.
They could use Pietro and
I don't remember his other name.
Right.
So, here's a thought I just had.
Oh, that'd be really cool, actually.
So, what if at the end of this series, in the MCU, there are 2 versions of Quicksilver and 2 versions of Wanda? And one of them, because Peter Evans, his dad in the X-Men continuity is confirmed Magneto in those movies.
Right.
And so this other Wanda who comes over that we didn't know about in the X-Men continuity, it could even be played by Elizabeth Olsen. I mean, whatever.
And it's just like a whole different version.
And so those two's dad is Magneto.
Maggie.
Mm-hmm.
And then her and what's his name? David Taylor or whatever, the guy who played Quicksilver.
Aaron Taylor Johnson.
Aaron Taylor Johnson. And their dad isn't. They're still like products of the Mind Stone or whatever. And so you have those two, and that also leads into the Multiverse of Madness.
That's pretty good because there's in no way like everything's possible. I mean, we saw the Spider-Verse movie. Everything's possible. We know that she is able to do whatever she wants with her powers at this point. What do you think, like, the capacity of that could do? Like, what do you like if they did put? I don't know. Like, how much time do you think Marvel has been doing these things behind closed doors, and what do you think we're gonna see that like we have no idea? Like, I don't know. It's the craziest thing to think about multiversal stuff and to what they can do, like bringing like Tom Cruise as another Iron Man, or just the extent of the stuff
they
that
have
they
to think about the timeline and making it fluid. And I'm not talking about just timeline as far as the multiverse. They have to think about the timeline as far as release schedule.
Right. When, like what was going on at these times.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we have to think about the fact that we still haven't gotten Black Widow.
Yeah.
And
that's what I was gonna say. Yeah,
we have to start like this snowball has to start running downhill. We got to start.
For sure.
Yeah. They got to put the movie out.
For sure.
They can't delay it again after May 7th or whatever else.
Yeah,
they're going to be wrapping up Winter Soldier, Falcon and Winter Soldier will be ending around May 7th.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
So if they push back this again, it pushes back every Marvel movie. You know?
Essentially, because Spider-Man 3 comes out at the end of the year.
Yeah.
Comes out in December. So, I mean, they got to figure this out.
And I hear that's supposed to be like an Avengers Endgame level movie. It's Sony's biggest production or biggest budget they've spent on a movie this far.
More than holy crap! I didn't know that.
Yeah.
More than Endgame.
Period.
That's wild.
Sony, not Marvel.
No, true. Okay,
Sony film,
but Sony.
Which
is still
that's a
crap toad load of money.
Yeah. Yeah, I think they could just. I think at this point, with this multiverse stuff, I think they are in a good position to do kind of whatever they want.
Oh yeah,
and
easy.
I think
cast whoever you want.
Yeah, and we can have different. Like I was just talking about. Like we've kind of been talking about, there could be different versions of different characters.
Sure.
And I think every single one of the movies that come out from here on out, they're gonna be team up movies.
Because there's going to be a star and there's another cool star in the movie.
And they can introduce more characters in that and do stuff like that. Because one of the things that was happening in between like phase 2 and 3, there was like these movies coming out and they were like, well, why? This is a or world threatening thing. Why are they all not here? And because of that, and they started
Where's
doing
this guy?
Why is he not here?
Right.
And ever since then, they've been having pretty much everybody in every movie. And we can get like the Fantastic Four, like Spider-Man. We'll probably get introduced in the blanking on the Multiverse of Madness. We'll probably get.
I think we're gonna get
a ton of people introduced in that.
I think we're gonna get Fast and the Furious.
We're gonna get Fast and the Furious.
I think we're gonna get Fantastic Four.
Dom Toretto versus Thanos.
I think we're gonna get that would be awesome. I think we're gonna get Fantastic Four in Ant-Man Quantum Mania.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Because the whole Kang the Conqueror coming through.
It's Peyton Reed's passion project is that he said that he would leave Ant-Man to do a Fantastic Four movie, and he's not going to be doing the Fantastic Four movie. So
I know it probably got
that's pretty cool
pushed back, but when is the Black Panther movie supposed to come out?
Not until 2023.
Yeah.
So we're just kind of spitballing out, but to not introduce the Fantastic Four, but the next Black Panther movie be a Black Panther Fantastic Four movie.
Well, I'm writing it right now.
Oh, okay.
Shout outs Disney Plus for getting a Wakanda series going.
Nice, yeah.
It's gonna be dope. I'm excited
because the way Black Panther is introduced in the comics is in a Fantastic Four comic.
Correct.
So that would be a nice little crossover to do.
Be a nice nod.
That would be cool if they could like you cross back and you introduce Fantastic Four in the Black Panther film.
That's why I was asking how far out it is. But I don't think they're going to wait that long to introduce.
Depending on delays, it might be out then.
Possible at this point.
Kind of segueing from something that has a plan and definitely has all of their act together to a plan that or a film that we don't know anything how it's going to be executed or if we're even excited anymore.
This is the weirdest film.
There was a blurred photo released of Jared Leto looking like he's doing a Heath Ledger impression for some promotional stuff for the Justice League Snyder Cut remix. And I just want to get your thoughts really quick. We're not going to spend too much time on it, but what did you guys think about this possible Jared Leto
reveal,
changing his appearance for Justice League? Do you think he'll be having long hair and starting to talk with talk like Heath Ledger?
I don't know. I think it does look like Heath Ledger. I think it even kind of looks like Joaquin Phoenix's Joker.
I think it looks more like Joaquin.
You know, like the weird kind of like dingy kind of hair.
Yeah.
What are we doing here?
The photo was too blurry.
I think this is I feel so weird about this movie. We've been given so much. I know so much about this movie and I know nothing about it.
Yeah, no, that's the best way to put it.
We're gonna watch it.
You know what I mean?
We're all gonna get together and we're gonna watch it.
Oh, absolutely.
We're gonna watch it here in the studio.
And I'm
together.
stoked for that. I think the weirdest thing about that though is there's just so much. There's just so much about this movie that's been released and there's no answers to nothing. And they just keep we just found out Martian Manhunter is gonna be mocap. So we're gonna get a mocap Martian Manhunter, super cool. But why is there so much stuff going on in this movie?
Why are they? Yeah, I say, why are they investing? Why are they reinvesting so much into this that isn't? It's not going anywhere. It's not going anywhere.
This is the end
into another project. It's not expanding whatever their universe is going to turn into.
No.
They've already mentioned that the Flash film is going to be kind of like the jumping off point for whatever they're going to be doing with their
if that ever comes
reset.
Out.
They're constantly resetting,
I don't
but
like Ezra Miller.
their next reset. Neither do I.
I think Peter Evans is what they wanted Ezra Miller to be, like the way he is in those Ezra movies.
Yeah,
that would have been cool.
I agree. Or even the kid who plays the Flash on the TV
CW show.
Yeah, he's really good. Grant Gustin. Does he? Yeah.
Season 7 of the CW.
I think a lot of it's got to do with Zack Snyder's got a lot of pull. He knows he's done after this.
He know he done. And
he know what he did.
And he wants, and he's done it before. He wants everything for himself. He's like, I want to do this. I want to have the Joker in it. I want to do this. And the Joker
it's too much.
I think Zack Snyder always does too much.
This is true.
And I think, like, in what capacity, like you were saying, like, in what capacity is the Joker going to be in this movie? And why?
Okay, but when you saw the Watchmen
just so you mean hi.
Yeah.
When you watched the Watchmen movie, okay, you just remember that it was really long and that visually it looked really cool.
Right.
But there's nothing about it that you walked out and you're like, that movie was amazing. It was so great. I can't wait to watch it over and over again.
Yeah, I walked out the Watchmen and went, it was a little different, but it was fine.
I really liked it.
Visually it's really cool.
Yeah.
I really liked it.
I was not gonna watch that movie multiple times.
Really? I liked it.
I've seen Watchmen.
I've seen a bunch.
I've seen Watchmen like 3 or 4 times.
Like 10 for sure.
I've probably seen it closer to around like 10, but I think I'm in between you two.
But I just didn't feel.
So are you trying to connect that? Is the Snyder Cut going to feel like the Watchmen movie? Is that?
I just
because I can see that.
Snyder does weird things.
I think that you making a movie longer doesn't necessarily make it better. A better film.
You don't have to throw everything into this.
They don't. And he's saying that they're taking like whatever amount of footage that they had that was in the Joss Whedon, the Justice League film, that when he made that movie.
Good points.
Snyder doesn't have to do a lot to make it different because there was enough footage for him to make a different movie.
Right.
He's trying to like put his own stamp on it. It seems like by just saying like, oh, well, look, I made the movie 4 hours. No. And you're going to be like, okay, cool. If you weren't into it to begin with, I don't know how into it you're going to be after you watch 4 hours worth of this movie.
And that's the hard part because like,
that's my point.
The Lord of the Rings is an awesome movie. It's also 3.5 hours.
Bro.
I'm so glad you said that because about what I'm going to say. So you have movies like The Lord of the Rings, which are 3.5 hours long.
Yeah.
But they're a great story and they're a great film.
Right.
And what's his name? Peter Jackson does great stories.
Right.
And you know what Snyder does? He makes equally long movies as Peter Jackson, but he doesn't do great stories. He does great moments.
Right.
So
there's going to be really cool moments where you're like, I'm
in a disjointed movie that's
very well
long.
put, Paul. Actually, that's very well put. Because he does take a lot of those segments and those iconic scenes that you remember from like the Watchmen series when you're reading those graphic novels, and you see those scenes in the movie, and you're like, oh, I remember that. Right. I remember reading that and seeing that like overpan shot of like the owl ship.
And when Rorschach gets splatted, it's like that was so great to see. But also, this movie was. I don't dislike the Watchmen. I think it's fine.
No, I don't dislike it, but it just I don't know.
It is definitely like a whole lot of movie, and. How much do you want to tell? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I think a better example is Batman versus Superman.
That was way overdrawn.
There's moments in that movie that are incredible. Bruce Wayne running into the smoke. There's moments in
warehouse
the fight. That's what I was going to say. The warehouse scene. And those moments make you go, this movie really isn't good. But those moments are incredible. So it makes you go, wait, did I like it? And instead of just Zack Snyder.
Did I like it?
Doing a succinct story with like, he writes up to moments. He doesn't write like fluidly and in a way that makes everything interesting. It's this is kind of boring, this is kind of boring, super interesting, this is kind of boring, this is kind of
I think
boring.
it's just going to end up giving people more questions after they see this. They're going to be like, okay, I enjoy it, or they're going to say, eh, and it's really not going to matter.
I think it's going to be a whole lot of and some cool moments.
I agree.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's really cool. We get to see Martian Manhunter. Black suit Superman. This is awesome. I don't care about Lois Lane and all this stuff. And then, you know what I mean? Like you said, cool moments, dull story. I don't think they need to add all of this extra stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what's up with this whole Joker look thing. I'm a little sketched out on it. I'm a little upset that they're doing the longer hair Joaquin Phoenix, Heath Ledger thing. You were doing your own thing with the tattoos and the gold chains. Stay doing it.
The damaged tattoo or whatever on his forehead.
Stay doing it, you know.
Right.
Did he get all his tattoos removed?
And a grill.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Is he still going to have all the
I don't know.
tattoos?
It could just be a whole different. It could just be Jared Leto in a
whole different,
in a version of a Joker of his own. You know what I mean?
That wouldn't be confusing at all.
It doesn't have any tattoos. He's not like this, like, you know, whatever he was trying to.
People are gonna love that.
Yeah.
But then again,
Frank
it
said
is
sarcastically.
But then it is. It's DC starting over again, and then we have to get another character that we've seen 12 other times.
They're gonna keep starting over.
Yeah.
They don't know.
Well,
listen. There's a moment we've been hyping up for a little bit, guys. For all of February, we're going to be taking a segment and dedicating it to one of the publishers that we love to talk about as far as content and different projects, the writers and artists that they work with, Ross Ritchie and all those guys at Boom Studios. This month, it's all about showing us your booms, us your booms, and we're going to start with probably the hottest series. I guess it's a series that sort of changed things for everyone. It certainly changed things for James Tynion.
Mm-hmm.
And I just want to get your reaction of Something That's Killing the Children, of course, is what we're talking about.
Oh, man.
Incredible.
It's been an incredible series. Erica Slaughter is just
such a cool character.
So cool.
She's so cool. I want to know what you guys have thought about the series so far and what you're looking forward to as far as the future of this series goes.
Okay. Well, first off, shout outs to Boom. I think our show was almost, I mean, we get all the capes and all the superhero stuff, and that's, you know, our bread and butter, but we started the show talking about Something's Killing the Children. It's a really awesome approach and a refreshing approach on comics, and you get to see something different. You get a brand new protagonist, awesome character design, with a really cool origin. It's really something fresh, and I really want to stick to that, you know, like I said, I love the capes, I love superheroes, I love all of our powers and all that kind of stuff, but it really feels cool to kind of see something different. You know what I mean?
Easy reads.
Oh my God.
Right.
You know?
Easy reads.
So I'm all for it. I'm team.
Yeah. I love it. And you know what Something's Killing the Children did for me, outside of some of the things we're going to get into? It made James Tynion a name for me. Because for the most part, James Tynion was that other guy who wrote on Batman after Scott Snyder and Tom King. That's what he was for me. He was the guy who did some of the Legion of Doom things for the Justice League run. He was like, well, he was the guy that they supplemented, and it was like, oh, we'll have him write this.
Right.
He, for this story for me, solidified him as a writer that when he's coming out with something,
gotta grab it.
I'm putting it in my pull box.
Gotta grab it.
And does he get that opportunity in at DC? Does he get Batman the way he did if this wasn't so good? Do they keep him on Batman for as long as they have?
Possibly not.
I don't know. I mean,
who knows?
You got to go back a couple of years when they started the rebirth for DC in 2016, 2017. Tynion wrote Detective Comics for about a year and a half. And it was sort of like his audition. And the stories he wrote, they were cool. Detective Comics kind of followed this formula. It was like a safe formula. It was like self-contained stories or like 2 or 3 issue arcs. He did a really good job. And I think that was like his audition for what they were trying to do long term. And then ultimately giving him this opportunity, you know, he's from that school of Snyder. you mentioned him writing the Legion of Doom issues with the Justice League. What they were doing in the rotation for Justice League when Snyder was writing it is that he would write 3 or 4 issues of Justice League, and then Tynion was taking the Legion of Doom,
right,
and he was telling it from the perspective of the Legion of Doom,
right,
and it was super cool.
After Snyder would do the 3 or 4 issues,
right, and you could tell
Justice
like there's
League based.
like there's like they got a bond there going. You know what I mean? And it's the chemistry works.
And I think that Tynion, he writes. I'd love to see Tynion write Wonder Woman, or
especially the way he writes
or
Erica
a Catwoman
Slaughter
series. Yeah,
yep.
The way he writes Erica Slaughter. I mean, he's a really good writer. He's impressed me, and I agree with Paul. I mean, he did this miniseries. It was like a fantasy type of miniseries about this. Like it's very like Disney-esque type of thing. It's called Wind. It was this fantasy series. He wrote that. That was also a Boombox. Boom Studios has another imprint for like younger readers called Boombox. That Wind was published through.
Nice.
And it was a really fun read. And I think that Tynion did a great job with that as well. I mean, I'm picking up everything that he's reading. He's writing. So.
They clearly know what they're doing over there at the studio. I think from what we're talking about now to like mystery, and then monsters, and then you got Keanu Reeves on a project. You know what I mean? Like
Berserker,
dude,
it's coming.
So I'm stoked. We always talk about the big two, and DC and Marvel definitely have solidified what they're good at. But these guys are paving a way for something different. You know what I mean? Making us think, making us excited. Like you said, anytime Boom comes out with something, even if I don't know what it is, I have to do some type of homework to figure out. Like, let me look a little deeper. I know I'm gonna like something.
I messaged the guy on a miniseries that he was talking about that was coming out. It was the Origins miniseries of the like basically post-apocalyptic world, is like the last human on Earth type of scenario. And I messaged him about it. It was like, I said, I'm picking this up. I said, I want to check this out because I'm gonna pick up lots of Boom. I basically pick up anything. It's like my pull box is ridiculous, but I pick up a lot of Boom Studios books.
Right.
And he was like, "All right, cool. Let me know what you think." I mean, and it's been a good series so far. It's like a 3rd or 4th issue. I think Origins is it's really cool. I've enjoyed the majority of the stuff that I've read from Boom Studios, and they have a project coming in April that is a big get for them. IP. We know, of course, they've got the 2 Power Rangers series, Mighty Morphin both, and Power Rangers, the ongoing series,
which by the way are super cool.
Yeah,
I haven't picked them up yet, but I will.
Super cool. I grew up. Power Rangers have always been my thing since I was a little kid. When I first got my own room, I had like a Power Rangers like lamps and all this, all that, everything. So the fact that these guys can take something like that and kind of revamp it to where I mean, of course I'm a nerd about anything, but I'm like, you put Power Rangers in and I'm stoked on it. Sold.
It says a lot about Boom because over the past 80, 90 years, it's been DC and Marvel, and then IDW, Dark Horse, and Image.
Yeah.
That's 3 other comic distributors that have come out in the past 80 years that have gotten a little slice of the pie, and now Boom's getting a little slice of that pie.
They're getting a bigger slice, man.
And
they're knocking down
over
doors.
the past 90 years, only 4 other distributors have and Valiant a little bit, have been able to break in and make a name for themselves. That says a lot about how good Boom Studios is.
No, you're absolutely right.
And how good that, like, whatever you pick up first. And the first thing I picked up was Something's Killing the Children, and I love it. And I read it so quickly, like we were talking about. Like, I got the first volume and I read it, like, I zoomed through it.
Yeah.
I texted them like 2 hours later and I was like, yo, crazy.
And the thing that we gave you tonight, I think you're going to enjoy that as well.
Yeah, hold that one up.
We're going to be talking about next week is
that
that
do that one next week?
Once in Future, we'll be talking about that next week. Once in Future is it's like a Raiders of the Lost Ark, National Treasure, Rick and Morty.
Yeah, I was going to say, please put Rick and Morty in there.
Type of thing. I mean, it's
super cool, man.
It's a really cool story. I'm
excited.
I don't want to give away too much.
No. Like,
for you, Paul.
Briefly.
Yeah.
It's like almost like a treasure hunt, some mystical type of stuff going on.
Like a good treasure hunt.
But like when we say Rick and Morty is when there's like a really cool grandma and like a grandson that's kind of oblivious to what's going on, and she is definitely capable.
Very much so.
you find out that you said Skeletor is on there. I was like, when you find out who this Skeletor person is,
you're
gonna be like, oh, I'm invested.
Yeah.
So it's really good.
You'll
it's
be
really good.
in.
It's really good.
So we keep dancing around. Frank, what is your favorite thing about Something's Killing the Children?
I guess because the mystery to it and the fact that I don't really like horror movies, and this is a horror comic, and I really like it. And Tinian did it in an interview, and he said that there's no real big like shock moment or surprise moment, and it's always like you turning the page and then something horrific happening.
That's
or
my
very
favorite
violent.
part of this.
The fact that these kids are the ones that see the monsters, and the adults are like
oblivious.
The kids are being weird. Like,
Yeah.
You know, they're totally oblivious to it.
Yeah.
Until later on,
when it starts going down,
and when S hits the fan,
the
starts
monsters are killing everybody. It's nuts. Don't be scared off by the title. The title and the overall story of this book is just great. Erica Slaughter is just an awesome character, and her relationship with early on with Jimmy and the sheriff. I mean, everybody. It's a really cool story, and I think that Tinian is, again, he's proving that he's a really great storyteller, and I'm really enjoying it. I've heard that it's going on hiatus for a couple of months. I'm not really sure. I think after this month, I think it goes on hiatus for a couple of months, but they'll be back. Don't worry. There's a rumor already about a spin-off series for Something is Killing the Children. Ross Ritchie actually did. He has like a podcast, or he does like Instagram interviews with creators and stuff for Boom Studios. And Tinian was starting to leak about there being a future project, and
doing the old Tom Holland,
and he cut him off.
Yep.
He's like, okay, whoa, change the subject, kind of thing. So we're looking forward to that. Remember, February is Show Us Your Booms.
# Show Us Your Booms.
All this month we'll be dedicating a segment to Boom Studios and different creative properties that they have underneath their label. And next week is Once in Future. And I know that Paul is probably going to read this in about 5 minutes, and we'll be talking about it tonight.
We got some buddies over at work. Marcel, I think, has already finished.
He read it. He was asking me for the second volume, and I wanted to hold off on the second volume until I made sure that everybody's read.
Everybody's kind of keeps up.
Yeah.
So I'm really stoked for the lineup. I believe what we're going to be doing after this one might be the one that I'm kind of stoked on. And then I want to eventually get into Berserker. You copped a couple copies of those 1 in 1000s, right?
Yeah, of course. And me and Keanu, we're tight.
Got a couple of those.
There is a 1 in 1000 variant for that Berserker, and it's signed. It's being pre-sold online on eBay for $2,600. My birthday's in March. I'm just saying, if anybody's listening and they're thinking about,
what to get, my boy.
I'm okay with that if that's what you wanted to get, and if there's a delay in shipping or whatever, I'm okay.
It's all good
with it. I'll be okay with that. But guys, we're looking forward to WandaVision tonight. What are some things you're looking forward to reading in the future, in the next couple of weeks, or even this week if you haven't picked up your pull box? I didn't pick up my pull box this week.
I didn't either.
I'm all over King in Black right now.
Okay.
We just got a little side stuff, some Eddie Brock, Flash Thompson, Anti-Venom kind of stuff going on right now. What's going on is really cool, and it's bringing everything together, and it's super cool. I didn't plan on it to be this cool, and now I'm starting to see everything online. And Rob over at Comics Explain, I saw a video, and I'm like, there's no way they're doing this. So Noel is crazy.
Yeah.
It would be dumb for them not to put him in a movie eventually because of how this is going.
It's a matter of time.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just like I wanted to say, it'd be crazy for Netflix not to get Something's Killing the Children. I mean,
I would be shocked at this point if Something's Killing the Children didn't get a series of.
It's been optioned. They don't know where it's going to be.
Prime, HBO, whatever. Yeah. I would see it going to Netflix.
Yeah.
You know who I'd love to see is Erica Slaughter, Emma Stone.
That's what we said.
I said Taylor Swift.
Don't.
Yeah, no. We did a whole episode on this, guys. You guys want to catch up on this? He did say Taylor Swift
early on. I went with Taylor Swift just because she had like I don't know, blonde. I don't know.
All right, anyways,
Emma Stone.
Anywho, Emma Stone would be fantastic.
So what I'm excited about reading is again,
boom,
Once in the Future, and also I'm caught up on The King in Black. It's only 3 issues, but I think it's so cool.
So good.
And also, I said I wasn't gonna read any of the tie-ins. I think I got to read the Silver Surfer one.
It's so cool.
I think I got to read the Silver Surfer.
It's so cool. Honestly, we said it that we're not going to get into these tie-ins, and then you start hearing about what's in these tie-ins, and it's actually kind of worth it.
I'm still going to be picking and choosing which ones I pick. But also, I have been rereading Grant Morrison's Rock of Ages Justice League story. That is, I think, the best story arc in any Justice League comic ever.
Sick.
So if you want to read, and it's like in the future, and it's
nice.
If you're going to read a Justice League comic, read Rock of Ages.
What about you, Frank?
Okay, well,
where you at?
That's great. Now my mind's all over the place. I think that at some point in March, we will probably do a segment like we're doing for Boom Studios and dedicate it to King in Black, and we will review this whole Null.
Give it time
Fallout.
for people to catch up.
Yeah, give people time to catch up on the 57 crossover tie-ins and the main series, so they can get all their.
It is.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
It's 57.
It's a lot. You can fill a
many.
short box, I think, with all the tie-ins.
It's crazy
that they've got. It's a lot. The thing that I'm kind of specking on is, or interested in picking up, is something that I invested in. Is next week. I think it's going to be. I've got Invincible vibes with this title, Radiant Black. It comes out next Wednesday. I'm excited for it. I've invested in it. Hopefully, it's going to be something hot. And if it's not, I'm going to have free copies of Radiant Black for you.
Heard that.
The week after, I'll have a lot of extra copies for you if it doesn't pan out. But it's one of the former writers of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, the old Mighty Morphin series that was also a Boom Studios property, is the writer for this book.
Sorry.
And we also have it's a guy who moves back in with his parents. He's 30 years old. He's down in his luck, and he gets hit by some cosmic energy, and he's given powers.
Nice.
So,
does it say like what kind of powers or what kind of abilities does he have?
I think he just has the ability to drink a lot of Truly.
Well, that's my power.
That's great.
But guys, we're looking forward to WandaVision tonight.
Oh, I'm stoked.
And we're gonna have all kinds of theories. I got to go invest in a dry erase board for the rest of the season, so we can put all of that stuff out there.
We should have a couple.
We'll get it up over here. I'll keep it in the trunk.
Absolutely.
Of the car. We'll just keep it in the corner of the studio. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's fine.
We'll do that.
We'll
all right. But guys, thanks for being here. Paul, thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Make sure you guys are commenting, letting us know how we do. Make sure you hit that subscribe, and get at us.
Yeah. Hit that like button. Make sure you follow us on Instagram. We're going to be posting probably tonight and tomorrow about what's going on in WandaVision.
Twitter at @into_comics.
Boom.
Show us your booms.
Show us your booms. Hyping up the boom.
Go read some comics.
Later, guys.
Yeah, baby.
Peace.
Stop.